If you've been around professional sports at all, then you probably heard people complain that pro athletes make too much. And they do make a lot of money, but I'm here today to tell you why they may not necessarily get paid too much. They might get just what they deserve. The NFL makes the most money of any professional sports league in America, so we'll use that as an example. It makes about between $7 and $8 billion per year. There are 32 NFL teams, so if you divide up between $7 and $8 billion of 32 teams, you get about $240 million per team. And they get the money from like ticket sales, concessions, and things like that, and apparel. And this doesn't even begin to mention what the teams bring in from advertising and other things like that. So of that $240 million on average that each team makes per year, only about $115 million goes to the players' salaries. $115 million, when you add it up, is usually the combined total of all the players' salaries for 1 year. And the other $100 million or so goes to employees of the stadium, revenue cost or expansion costs. They want to work on the stadium, things like that. And so since players only see about half the money and they do all the work to bring the fans to the stadium, I think that's more than fair for the owners that the players get that money. So now let's talk about how the money is divided up amongst the players. So the NFL average salary per player is $1.8 million. And there are 32 teams, and each team has 53 players on it. So when you multiply that out, that's about 1,800 players. And less than 1/4 of the 1,800 players actually make the average, the league average. And less than half make $1 million per year. So like here's a graph, and the green represents players that make less than $1 million of the total players. The purple represents players that make more than $1.8 million, the average. And these are people that are in between the average and $1 million. So you can see that by far, most players make $1.8 million or less. It's the few you hear about on TV, the really good players that make the big bucks, that make between $10 and $12 million a year, that people complain about, when really those are the ones that are the high profile players that are good and that give their team wins, that make that kind of money. They're the kind of players that you see on the front page of like magazines, like Aaron Rodgers or Albert Pujols. If you get to that level, then that's when you make that kind of money, but not that many players do, like a lot of people think. Pro sports leagues are billion-dollar industries, and players deserve their cut of the money. As you can see, they're the ones that do all the work, they're the ones that everyone knows, and they're the ones that risk their health, so why shouldn't they be on the line? It's an entertainment industry, and so if people don't want to see it, then it's very simple, just stop watching. If they think the players are getting paid too much, then if they stop watching, then there's nothing to worry about, because they don't have to worry about it. There won't be any more NFL, MLB, NBA, anything. Fans pretty much pay the player salaries when they buy tickets and souvenirs and things, because that's the main source of income for the league is fans. Other professions make a lot of money as well, and a lot of people don't think about that, like actors. Actors just pretend to do things. Like Clint Eastwood, for example, he's made a bunch of movies. He's been an actor for 50 years. So for 50 years, he's pretended to be someone or be a character in a story. And he gets paid a lot of money to do that, and nobody really complains. But when an NFL player takes the field and a linebacker hits him full speed and he gets a concussion or breaks his leg, or even if he doesn't get hurt seriously, he still gets hit, and that's for real. And that's where the players earn their money, is through self-sacrifice and things like that. Pretty much, like in every professional sport, there's always a risk of getting hurt. And they're dangerous. They're full contact sports, most of them, except for maybe baseball, but they can still get hit by a pitch and pull muscles and stuff like that. And I know that maybe other professions seem like they should get more money too, like teachers and doctors and policemen, and they're very deserving of more money, but there just isn't enough money to go around to pay all those people enough money that they should maybe deserve, like the pro players get, because the government just doesn't have enough money to pay them. If there was a way they should get more money, they should get it, but they knew how much money they could get when they took that job. They didn't think, oh, if I become a doctor or if I become a teacher, then I can make $3 million a year. They knew what they were getting into because they wanted to help people, or they like kids, or they like to teach. There's just nothing else they can do. And being a pro athlete isn't just a part-time job. It's a 24/7 job. Like, most pro athletes have been training to do what they do since they were really young. They've been playing football, baseball, basketball since they were 9 years old. And now that they've worked really hard, lifted weights and all that, all the way up through college and all the way to the professional level, and they're constantly being watched. Anything they do, if they get arrested, it's on TV. If they do anything wrong or stupid, everyone knows about it because it's on national TV and newspapers. And they're kind of being always scrutinized, always watched, and there's nothing they can really do about that. And I think that's why they deserve to be paid so much, is because they put in all the work, and the league makes so much money, and someone needs to get it, and why not the players? And that's kind of the great thing about America, is that you can become rich or wealthy or successful all you want if you just work at it and get the right breaks. And pro sports isn't just a 9 to 5 job, so they deserve what they get, because the league makes so much money, and it has to go somewhere, so it should go to the players who do all the work.